you two. We need to meet.
Okay, let's meet at the studio.
Okay, I'll be there in 5.
My name's Priscilla De La Torre,
And my name is Jordan Hemp,
and you're listening to Off the Market Confessions,
where we talk about real stories, real estate, and real life. Welcome to Off the Market Confessions. Today's guest is someone that we're really excited to have on because her story is such a good reminder that it's okay to fully own the season that you're in. She's a realtor, and she'll be the first one to tell you that right now she's just a realtor. And honestly, she loves it. Before real estate, she was actually pre-law until one acting class changed everything. In college, she had to interview 2 people in careers that she thought she might want, a theater director and a realtor.
Outside of work, she and her husband, Josh, are dinks. They're dual income with no kids, living their best life with their 2 very spoiled dogs. I've met them. I know they're spoiled. Mulder and Ripley. Is that correct? Okay. Who basically run the house. A lot of their family isn't local, so they've built a really strong chosen family through volunteering, which they absolutely love. When she's not selling homes, you'll find her in the theater world, reading, gaming, and watching true crime documentaries, or staying insanely active with volleyball, softball, and lately a lot of pickleball. We're so excited to dive into her journey, her mindset, and what it really looks like to be content, grounded, and fulfilled in her career. Welcome to Off the Market Confessions, Corie Burck.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
We're so excited to get into this, Corie. We admire your contribution to theater and real estate and your balance in that. You are a vibrant person and you've been doing really well in your career. So we wanted to welcome you to the show and kind of dive into your brain.
Thank you so much.
And you have a lot of knowledge. So when we discussed what episode, we knew we wanted you on the pod, but when we discussed the episode, there was a different one we wanted you for, and we talked about it, and we're like, no, we have to get her on a better one because we just think you're so knowledgeable and you do so much for yourself, for the community, for your clients. So yeah, we're excited to have you.
Well, thank you. And don't be too scared once you start getting in my brain.
The episode is called Acting the Part and Closing Deals. And we feel like that fits you so well. So for people who don't know Corie, Corie is heavily involved in warehouse theater in Yakima. She has had multiple lead roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have yet to watch you, which I need to.
Wow,
Which I
that's rude.
No, I really want to. I hear the
Sure.
best things. I was
Sure.
so sad to miss the last one,
Mhm.
but Corie is one of the best in it. You're very talented, and people are always talking about every show that you're in.
Oh,
So
thank you.
we want to know a little bit more about how you find this to be maybe a niche market for real estate, because I imagine that it is, but you're the only one who does that. So we wanted to see how you do it.
Yeah. So for me, it really started off as I was going to do theater no matter what. I loved it. I majored in it and communications in college. I was going to do it no matter what. And I was spending a lot of time in it. I was already on the board. I was spending like 20 plus hours a week there between committees and being in or working on productions. And I was getting really burnt out. And I attended a business planning clinic with Rebecca Del Pozo, who is an amazing Keller Williams agent out in Seattle. She's so knowledgeable. And she talked me through how to make them symbiotic instead of it's one or the other. And I was giving up one to do the other. And she talked me through how to make them mutually beneficial with each other because I was going to do it anyway. And she made a really good point. When you're looking for clients in real estate, you're looking for people who know, like, and trust you. And everybody in that space already knew, liked, and trusted me because they've been working with me for so long. And so she talked me through how to make those 2 things symbiotic and how to layer them one on each other. And that has been career and life changing for me.
Yeah, I love it. It kind of ties into this question I wanted to ask you. Do you think law, acting, and real estate have more overlap than people realize?
Definitely,
Mhm.
definitely. And I would say that in particular is why real estate and my business in particular in real estate feels so good to me because it's a mixture of all the things that I've really loved. It's a mixture of the things that I loved about law. It's a mixture of the things that I've loved about theater. And it's a really good mixture of business that can fund my big life. And so all those things working in together has been so special. And I don't think I could have gotten this level of happiness in any other venture, honestly.
Yeah.
So have you fully ditched everything around law, pre-law?
So last year I threw my back out and I was like on the couch horizontal for like a week. And I was like, maybe I go back to law school. It was really funny. My husband had surgery like the same week. And so we were both horizontal. And I looked up and I found out that Seattle University actually has a hybrid law program that I could do while I'm still doing real estate and selling real estate, because I would only have to go there like once a quarter on a weekend. So I thought about going back to law school and opening up a practice that I could do kind of both and open up a unique practice. But I realized that I can get all the satisfaction I need with just my real estate license, and I can scale it in a way that gives me what I need financially for my and my family's life. And I can still get the satisfaction of doing theater. I think if I introduce a whole nother element into that, I don't think I could have the enjoyment part of my life.
You know what is so funny is that, and I'm so glad you're just like us, because as realtors, we always want to find more. It's so
Yes.
funny. Anytime I have
You have to
downtime,
talk yourself out of it.
yeah, anytime I have downtime, I'm like, ooh, what can I do now? It's like, how
Mhm.
about just take a break?
Oh, yeah.
So I love that. That's so funny that you thought about going back into law. That cracks me up.
Yeah. When I was
I love
just
it.
too horizontal for too long.
So walk us back real quick to when you were in college. That is when you switched to theater or
Mhm.
acting. What was it? Was there like this specific moment you remember where you were like, I want to go give that a try?
Mhm. So I had a counselor. I was pre-law, and she suggested, because I did the Running Start program, which if anybody out there is thinking about that,
I
it's
did it
the
too.
best. And I was in the Running Start program and I was pre-law, and she was like, hey, you should take this acting class. You need an elective. I wasn't doing anything creative. I had no creative outlets. And I think she saw a need in me for a creative outlet as well. And so she was like, you should sign up for this acting class. It'll also help you with your public speaking and everything for pre-law. It's, win-win. So I was like, okay, I'll do this. And I took my first class, and I was just having so much fun playing. And I played a lot of sports, but I never had that much fun just playing and being silly and being creative with other people. And so I did my first production, and I got my first applause, and then it was pretty much over. Which I know my dad wishes he could go back and find that counselor, I'm sure, and keep me from doing that. But I think I turned out pretty okay. But I got my first applause, and the director of the theater offered me a full ride to continue going.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
I was just so excited about how it made me feel as a human. And yes, I had concerns about my ability to get jobs afterwards, but it was something I couldn't ignore. It gave me a human outlet that I needed when I needed it as a young adult. And so I couldn't ignore it. I knew it was something that I had to do.
That's amazing. That's how people who are artists feel.
You have to do it. You're compelled. If you could get by doing anything else, you
It's a
should.
calling. It's a
Yes.
calling.
I love it. So I want to know a little bit of how you handle rejection and how your acting kind of translate to, when you get a rejected offer or your roles get rejected, like you don't get the lead. I kind of want to know a little bit about that.
So what's really funny is actually my therapist brought this up last year. My therapist was like, hey, so have you ever noticed that you literally put yourself in all of these positions to face rejection on a daily basis in all aspects of your life? I was like, huh. So not to go too far into that, or else I'd have to start paying you.
No, you can I'll take your money.
I deal with it exceptionally well, just from how I was brought up. As an athlete too, I take feedback and constructive criticism and negativity really, really well. It really feeds me more than anything. Yes, it hurts to not get a role. So the show that's going on right now at Warehouse, Boeing, actually my best friend is directing it, and she didn't cast me. And she knows I love her. It's
No
totally
shade,
fine.
no shade.
No shade. But
That's a confession.
That's
yeah.
That's a good
But she knows I love her. So that's what happens. That's just the nature of the beast, because it's not just any one part of casting or anything. There's so many things that go into it. Sometimes it has nothing to do with you, just like in real estate. You just have to take it for what it is. You do have to take a minute to step back, examine it, and go, is there anything I could have done differently, should have done differently to prepare for this? Or is it just a chemistry thing? Sometimes just the chemistry's off with you, the role, the client, whatever it is. Sometimes the chemistry is just off. And I have found that trying to fit a square peg in a round hole will actually do more harm to you and your mental health than good.
Mhm.
So instead of dwelling on it too long, I do look and see, did I not prepare well? Is there anything that I
Could
made
have
an
done
obvious
better.
mistake
Mhm.
on? But then other than that, I'm just like, it just means we weren't for each other. And I'm just not going to have that
Yeah.
experience. And now I have more energy to go out and do something else.
Yeah. I
So
love that. I think it's very black and white, right?
you
Essentially.
either got it or you didn't.
Right. Fun fact, when I first started here at KW, Corie was actually my coach. And, where I come from, cell phone industry, it was very black and white. You got the deal or you didn't. You did what you had to do as far as like your role or you didn't. So for me, that's kind of how I am, which I loved coming into here, Corie being my coach and her having the same mindset. It really helped. So shout out to you. Thank you.
So let's see. When you are working with clients, you've had to learn how to read a room when
Mhm.
you're acting.
Oh, for
but
sure.
has that helped you or trained you to pick up on energy or tone or unspoken cues from clients? What do you think about that?
Yes, it's definitely an advantage that I have. I can pick up on a lot of little things pretty quickly from people. I'm usually very good at that. One thing that sometimes I am not so good at is stepping back and listening once
Mhm.
I've identified a problem. Sometimes when I have identified a problem, I want to step in and fix it.
Mhm.
That's also
That's what
part
you
of my
do.
theater background
Yeah.
and my realtor background because I was also a stage manager for a lot of my theater training. And so I just want to fix the thing. And in our business in real estate, often the best thing you can do is take a step back and ask a few more questions and listen a little bit more. So when I am making mistakes or I am ending up in a miscommunication with clients, more often than not, I can trace it back to I went to solve a problem before I'd fully identified the breadth and the width of that problem. I should have asked a few more questions so I had a better understanding of what all that problem entailed.
So confidence versus authenticity. How do you perform without being fake? Or is it okay to be fake sometimes?
Or are you fake? I don't think you're fake.
No,
No, I would
Corie,
say
yeah.
I'm
You're
really
very
good
real,
at,
actually.
I'm really good at being really real. And I think that's where I find most of my clients is being really real with them and being really honest with them. So I don't find that I often have to be performing in any real way. For me, on the acting side of things, I think it kind of feeds one into the other is when you learn something well enough, you don't have to be fake with it anymore. And you
Yeah.
don't have to perform it. Just like learning a monologue, once you get it in your body, it just becomes part of you and it's really real and it's really authentic. It's the same thing with a listing presentation or contracts. If you learn it really well, there's nothing performative about it. You understand it. You can answer questions. You can explain it multiple different ways. And so I would say it's the same thing. It's repetition and just having a deep knowledge of it to where it's in you.
Yeah.
And it's not something that you're trying to retain.
Right.
Yeah.
I think too, I mean, I love the way you explained that, but really being yourself is, if you're being performative, people will notice.
Oh yeah.
So
It stinks.
yeah, right. Personally, who you see online for me, I'm very active on social media. Who you see online is who you get in person. And I think that's what's worked best for me is just being 100% myself.
And then you're attracting the people that are your people.
Right.
So you're getting the people that are going to be the square peg in the round hole.
Yeah.
You're getting the people that are like, I want to work with that person.
Yeah. And I think that's like the secret sauce.
Mhm.
That's the secret. You have to be yourself because then you get the people that want to work with you because they genuinely like you and who you are. Even if you're crazy, even if you like to game and you're a dink. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're all dinks, but you know what I mean?
Okay,
So,
to break that down for people, because I just learned what a dink is. Dinks are dual income and no kids. That's when you're describing a couple. It's people with two incomes, but no kids. And so that puts all three of us in the dink category.
Yes. Probably. Which means spoiled animal.
By ourselves. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about your goals. You don't have to go too far in depth and air out anything, but what are some goals that you have this year? And do you feel any pressure to be more in your career or in theater as well?
Well, so I'm the president of Warehouse Theater this year. So part of that is just surviving. It's a survival mode. So on that, I'm just trying to get through it. We have a few big goals. Part of my initiative over there this year is to help increase the business side of the theater to match the production side. We've really increased the amount of productions that we do and the amount of offerings that we have in programming the last couple of years. And what that has led to is, of course, like we know in real estate, once you get to a new level of production or programming, you get some growing pains and you identify some systems that do not work to support that new level of growth. And so part of my efforts this year on that side is just increasing the business side to match the increase in programming, because we're probably at a good cap for programming over there currently. And so I'm working on that. On the business side, I am trying to sell 30 homes so I can make 30 donations to Warehouse Theater Company this year. I make a donation for every single house I sell. And so my goal is to be able to make 30 donations to the theater this year.
I love
And
it.
really hoping to do that.
Yeah, I love that you're giving back to, the same place that you're already like contributing so much to. So that's awesome.
Full circle moment. Yeah. And for the people who say that Yakima doesn't have anything to do, this is really important. She is helping provide and build something to do in Yakima. And there are a lot of things to do in Yakima.
You
but
can go watch her. Or
In
you
the-
can watch us.
The next 90 days, there will be 4 different opportunities to watch a performance of some kind.
That's
Wow.
great.
And that's a lot for a community theater to be able to stand. That's not including the Capitol Theater, which also has a lot of programming available.
Absolutely.
So I want to know, what is some advice that you can give agents who feel guilty for not doing everything? So there's a lot that we do. There's a lot, you're a realtor, you're doing whatever you're doing with Warehouse Theater, you have your home stuff, you have social media, you have YouTube, all these things. What would you say to an agent that feels like this is too much?
Scale it back. And that's truly my advice. That's what's made the biggest difference for me is I ruthlessly cut so many things in my life and then kept only the things that were giving me energy. And then I rebuilt it slowly based on the things that were giving me energy. So I dip my toe in something and go, yep, nope, not feeling that. That's not the vibe. And then reject it quickly and move on quickly if I didn't feel like it was going well. And then just now going all in into the things that are giving me the energy. Because I find that if it's giving me energy, I'm going to be able to scale it so much better. And I'm going to be able to serve at a high level so much better, because I am not going to get burnt out trying to make something happen that shouldn't be happening. So as long as it's sustainable for you, that's
And
what
you enjoy
matters.
doing it too, right? Because if it's something you don't like, then it's a drag, right? Personally, you'll never catch me picking up a phone and calling strangers to try to get business. I just can't do that. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So
And
I'll
if it's
never
not
do it.
you, don't
And it's
do
not
it.
me. Open houses. I don't like to do open houses either. They kind of scare me. So,
Yeah, I don't enjoy them.
Quality over quantity.
100%.
Choose quality work over overloading yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I want to know, we just had a topic about advice for agents, but what is some advice that you give to buyers, whether they're first time home buyers or maybe just somebody who doesn't do it often? How do you give your clients confidence and keep the peace so they're not spiraling and spinning out?
The very most important thing I think I do is communicate and educate. That is always my number one priority, whether it's buying or selling, is I'm going to over communicate. And I tell them that up front. I say, I'm going to over communicate with you. It might get a little annoying. It might get a little redundant, but I don't ever want you to feel like you don't understand what's going on. And I'm going to take the time to educate you on the things that are going on. So that way you feel like the decisions you're making a decision based on an educated opinion. You have the information you need to make the decision. And sometimes that's not going to be in alignment with what I feel is the best. But you have to make the decision that's best for you. So I'm going to make sure you have all the information so that way you can move forward with something that aligns best for you. And then I'm going to advocate for you. I'm going to go to the mat for you. So over communication and even over education. Sometimes I just tell people like, hey, if I'm getting too into the weeds, please let me know. But also ask a question, because sometimes I can get going really fast, as I'm sure the viewers are noticing. And I can get going really fast. And sometimes I need to slow down and go into something a little more in depth. So I always just try to empower them to be able to take that down.
I think for the most part, though, people appreciate that. When obviously we do this every day, so we know what we're doing, we know what we're looking
It's
at.
like going to the grocery store.
Right.
It's the one you go to all the time. You're good
Yeah.
at it.
So, but you're good at it. But
Right,
if you
right,
go
right.
somewhere new or you've never been here before, obviously you don't know where everything's at. You don't know what you're doing. I think it's great that you do that. I think it actually is. It sucks that there is so many other people that aren't like you that don't educate their clients, because then it makes it seem like everybody else also doesn't do the same.
Yeah.
thing.
When
So,
people don't have a good experience, it's usually that's one of the root
Yeah.
causes is they didn't feel like they understood what was happening.
agree.
Buying a home is truly overwhelming for people. I mean, I am a realtor, and when I bought my house, I was so stressed out. I mean, mentally, it was probably the toughest thing I ever went through myself. To give buyers peace of mind, I like what you said, just ask questions and try to take it in small pieces, and don't be afraid to ask to repeat this stuff because it is overwhelming. And you know what? I think my most informed buyers were the ones that had to write 14 offers just to get their first home back in
Yes.
2020 because they went
They
through
heard
it
the
14
same thing.
times. So those are probably the smartest people when it comes to real estate at this point. But
You know what's funny? My home buying experience was such a breeze because Corie was my realtor. Corie was actually my realtor when I first
And I
got
hope
out.
you felt educated and
It was,
empowered in the
yeah.
process.
And it's so funny because
I got her here.
right. So as she's saying this thing about over educating and over explaining, I remember you telling me I'm going to over communicate, but I just want you to know, what you're getting yourself into, what, for you to understand everything. So 5 years later, now 5 years that I've been doing this, 6 years since I bought my house,
And you do the same thing for your clients.
it's the same thing. And I learned from her and she's amazing.
That's right. That's
I
right.
love it.
And I know you both do that for your
Yeah.
clients. And I think that's just such an important thing that can't be understated. If you have a realtor or an agent who is not looping you in on the process or not really open to answering questions, that's a red flag.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Or if they said,
Or if
"Don't
they
worry
can't
about
explain the
it."
contract.
Right.
Yeah.
If they can't explain the
Right.
contract to you, that's a red
Right.
flag.
And I think
Absolutely.
too, if you're an agent and you don't have an answer, find out the answer. If I don't know something,
Take the
I'll
time.
tell my clients like, hey, I don't know. Let me talk to my broker. Let me talk to my peers. I can't just not answer your question and then you're buying this house and you don't know what you're doing. So I think even if you're an agent or whether you have an agent that isn't doing their due diligence, it's your right that we work for you. We work to represent you for your best interest. So
So when it comes to mindset and identity, do you feel like your identity has to shift over time in real estate? Do you ever feel like you have to change kind of who you are, or do you choose to ever change your identity as just part of building in your career? Self-identity.
Yeah. I actually talk about this a little bit. I have a YouTube video that I just filmed earlier this morning, and I actually talked about like this exact thing. I think the mistake I made early in my career was thinking that my identity as a realtor had to look a certain way and had to be a certain way. And when I really came into my own and built a business that I felt really good with and aligned with was when I actually made everything fit me instead of some image I had in my brain. Models are great, and it's great to take models from other people, the idea of the model, but you shouldn't be modeling yourself completely after a person or an
Right.
idea of a person. And when I started, I just was getting so much education from so many places. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this that way. And I'm going to do this that way. And I'm going to present myself this way. And that's what burns you out. Right. Being anything other than what you are burns you out. And I have so much more energy to do what I do now because I'm in alignment on all those things. And so I would say if it's not feeling good, that's probably a flag you need to take some time and dissect a little bit and see why it's not feeling good. Is it because it's not in alignment with you as a person? Is it because it's just not working with your schedule? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Unpack that a little bit. And now I would say I am fully in alignment with myself as a person in my business, my career, my personal life. They are all very symbiotic with each other. They all take a front seat at different times because that's just the nature of real life and energy. They can't all be a priority all the time. But I have the energy to do it all, right? Just because they're all in alignment.
Yeah.
And they all give me energy and give me juice.
I love it. I love it too that you've always shown up as yourself. I love that. That again, that's like the secret sauce. Be yourself. Whatever's in alignment with you, that's what's gonna work because it's you. It's who you really are.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love it. So, question: what do you feel like you would tell somebody who feels like they're behind because their path, whether it's in real estate or in life, or maybe their path to buying a house isn't linear, what would you tell them?
I would say linear is boring. The best stories have never come from anybody who had it easy. And I'm obviously big into stories and storytelling. It's obviously an important part of who I am. And it's boring. You're so much more interesting for the things that you've had to go through to get there. And you are so much a better person for those things. And you are more fun to be around for those things. And so I would say I'm hanging out with a bunch of people tonight. Think we're the only homeowners in the group that we're hanging out with tonight. None of them would I say like, oh yeah, you're behind. No, they're right on track for where they need to be for their unique journey. Everybody's is totally different. Don't worry about what everybody says needs to happen as long as your needs are met. Now, if you have a goal and you're working hard towards a goal and you're not getting traction, then it's time to, look at the models and the systems, right, that would feed to get you there. As long as you feel like the goal is still good, then it's looking at systems and models. But if you just didn't do something because it wasn't a priority, that's okay. It wasn't a priority. It's fine.
Well, so you are in your early 30s, which is now the late 20s.
Yeah.
You're 20. You're 21. Everyone's always like, "How old are you?" I'm 21. Don't really ask me.
Forever
Thank you
21.
for forever. Thank you
I
for
think it's
sticking on my
sign or something when you went with it. But what I wanted to say is the average age of a first-time home buyer in America this year was 40 years old. So
So you're
for
not
any
behind.
of your friends or our friends who think that they're behind, I mean, and I'm not saying that after 40 you're behind, but that can still be a pretty far-fetched out dream for some people,
Yeah.
even as they're approaching their 40s or 50s.
Oh,
So
100%. And it's okay if it's not a priority for you. If it's not a priority for you, there's other
Actually,
ways.
I have a question for both of you on that.
Yeah.
What do you think your average age for your buyers are? Because, a lot of my buyers come from my social media, and these guys are like early 20s.
Good
They
for
think
them.
they
That's
think that I'm in my early 20s too.
It's 'cause you're
I'm
beautiful.
21. So, a lot of my people tend to be pretty young. So when I saw those averages, the 38 or 40 years old, I was like, dang, where are they? Because they're not, those are my clients. I wish they were. Well, everybody, but what do you think your age is roughly? Or do you think it's mixed?
My average is like 35 to 40.
Okay.
But I also serve a lot of the older population. I don't know about you, but I also serve, I have like a
actually-
little subset of older population because I don't know if you know this about theater, but it's very classist. Most of the people that can afford to do theater, it's because they have disposable income. And so that
Makes sense.
also tends to be a subset of it. It's
Yeah.
the people who really, really care about it and they're younger or the people who have the financial means to be able to participate in a meaningful way.
I agree with that.
I don't know if I can put an average age on it. I feel like I have two very different groups of people. I have younger people who are my age, they came up with me.
Which is how old, Jordan?
28 to be exact, not my early 30s.
We're all forever 21.
No, but I do have a lot of people around my age that came up in my generation, but I also do work with a lot of older clients, but probably from like 40 to 55, I don't have a lot of clients in that age
Yeah,
range.
I don't
Maybe
know
a few,
that
but
age either.
sometimes, but that's like
So-
my gap range.
So how do we get those clients? Tell your parents and your grandparents to watch this. Just kidding.
That's right.
I love it.
Corie, you have had some different positions in your real estate career within Keller Williams, but let's walk back real quick and explain a little bit about your development to where you are since you joined Keller Williams.
So I got into real estate in May of 2018. When I moved here, I took my test the next day. I got in right away and I was working with my partner, who is the OP of the office, which in Keller Williams means operating principal. And I was partnered with her for a really long time. And even while I was partnered with her, I took on some other roles. I was the productivity coach, which means that I was training new realtors and helping consult with new realtors through their first 6 transactions at least. To help them make sure they had somebody that would answer their questions, review their contracts, help them to get their businesses up and running. Really, my heart was in that job. I really loved it. It was a heart job
Both
for
of
me.
us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think, not to interrupt,
No,
but
please.
Corie, no shade to anybody else. She's the best. I always say, like, she's the reason I'm successful. So She was such a great coach. If you ever want to do coaching again, I would definitely recommend
I
to
couldn't do it
anybody.
the same way again.
Okay, so you were the coach, and I would agree you did a fantastic job at that.
Oh,
So
thank
Yeah,
you.
I think
Thank you.
the people that started around the time that we started, a lot of them are that you taught, that you
yeah,
coached are still in it and they're good performers. Real quick, I have a question. Your test, did you pass it on the first try?
Yes.
Okay,
And I
this
passed my managing brokers on the
listen.
first try
Ooh,
too.
that's
I was the
that's
I was the first person in our office to pass it the first time.
wow, nice
Yeah.
job.
I'm
Yes.
noticing a trend then because Jordan and I, we talked about this the first episode, but we also pass it on the first try.
Uh-huh.
Not saying there's anything wrong if you don't, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of, okay, I'm sensing something.
I
Okay,
always
I
tell
like
people
I like
it has no
brains.
bearing
It
on
doesn't.
your success or not in real estate.
No.
Actually, some of the top producing
Mhm.
agents in our market
Mhm.
have took multiple
Mhm.
times to pass the test because it has no bearing on your
Right.
success. But having a dedication to understanding that information is an indicator, right?
Mhm.
If you were committed enough to study your butt off
Mhm.
and to pass that test and to take that test
And to
seriously,
keep going.
that
Yeah.
that is an indicator, right? That you're willing to work hard for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. I love it.
And so after being the productivity coach, I was the market center tech trainer, which was a way for me to not have as much responsibility, but just because having a lot of baby realtors was a really big demand on my time. And I was looking for ways to not be so leveraged out and to create more time in my life. And being the overseer of a lot of baby realtors was just a lot all the time. And so I pivoted and I was like, okay, I still want to be in leadership. I really enjoy educating. I really enjoy teaching. So I moved more to the market center tech trainer role, which was really, really great. Like I had no issues with the market center tech trainer role. It was just, I wanted to see what I could do. I was like, I have never just been a realtor
Like focus
on my
yourself.
own,
Yes.
focused on
Mhm.
myself and seeing what my business could accomplish.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, Tracy, I just really want to try doing this.
Yeah.
And I hope that you'll support me in that. And of course, the full answer from the leadership team was like, yes, girl, go out and do it. And I'm so glad that I had that support because I was able to go out and do it on my own. And I was able to take a breath and go, okay, now I'm building something that's completely in my vision.
Mhm.
And that has been like a breath.
Yeah. I love it too because you do so much for everybody else. I think there always comes a time where, okay, it's time that I stop focusing on everything else and everyone else and I do something for me. So I love that. I love that you're doing that.
And this also ties back to what you said earlier about scaling back
Mhm.
when you feel like you can't do everything. When we talked on that, that's what you did. So and look at you had a
You're
great
doing
year.
great,
Is this your best
yeah.
year in your listing?
Oh no, this was
No.
not my best year in real
No?
estate. No, this was not. But it wasn't
Was the year
bad.
before?
It was like a maintenance year. The
Okay.
year before was my best
Okay.
year as far as like single person production, not having an assistant,
Yeah.
not having a partner, anything like that. As far as being on my own, the year before was my best year. Last year was a good maintenance year.
Mhm.
I had a lot of personal stuff that went into last
Mhm.
year. My dad had a brain aneurysm. And he's fine now, but it was a lot of back and forth to Portland for several
Mhm.
months. I got really ill at the end of the year. There was a lot of things that just kind of threw me off last year.
Yeah.
And I am completely like realigned and ready to hit it hard this year. And
Mhm.
I'm not in any shows so far for this
Mhm.
year. I don't have any show commitments for the
Okay.
entire year of 2026 so far.
Mhm.
Because sometimes I just show up at auditions the day of and make a last minute decision. Yeah, I just have a lot of time to dump into that right now.
Yeah, it's good. I
That's
love
good.
it. Pickleball. Can we talk about
Yeah.
my notes say pickleball obsession. I don't know if it's an obsession. but
It has become an
Is-
obsession. It's
is
a
it-
recent
Is
obsession.
it an obsession? What even is pickleball? Because I'm just a girl and I don't even know what that is.
Oh my gosh, I love pickle.
And is it a stress outlet? Would you consider it a stress outlet?
Yes, absolutely.
So tell
I
us.
think any kind of exercise you do can be a really good mental health exercise and stress outlet. Absolutely. And I would say that like the whole reason that I train and go to the gym is so that I can play sports. Because honestly, I hate strength training and I hate exercising.
So funny.
Oh,
I love
my-
to do like
To me, it's always been
Let's-
punishment for sports.
Mhm.
But pickleball has been a really good way for me to meet a lot of people, and It's very social. It's very fun. It's low impact, which is one of the reasons I got into it because I've actually had 2 back surgeries and a knee surgery since I moved here. So I needed something low impact. And it's also really social, which is really fun, and really competitive, which is also really good for me. Being competitive is really, really core to who I am as a human. And it's a good, safe outlet for that. That is not gonna. You should see me at trivia. I'm not my best self at trivia.
You definitely are competitive. Yeah, for sure.
I love it though. I love it.
So, Corie,
Reigning bowling champion for Keller Williams.
that is true. I think I was on your team. So, to point out real quick, Corie trains with my partner, San, at the Yakima Athletic Club. And I just want you to know we didn't schedule you on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, so you wouldn't give me bad looks about being sore.
Today, I'm moving my trains to Thursdays in the mornings. So just so you know.
Okay, so Fridays might be dangerous.
It's okay.
Stay away.
It's okay. I'll just give you dirty looks.
Okay. So we've given people a good look at what you do professionally and in theater, but outside of this stuff, a little bit that I know about you is that I know you enjoy your pool in the summertime. You love laying out by your pool, right?
Yes.
And you also are posting photos of the most delicious food all the time. And I'm envious of it. You inspire me. I know that you get this stuff on Pinterest, right? Pinterest all the time?
Not
Facebook?
usually. Kind of everything.
Make it up.
Some of it I just make up. I follow a lot of chefs on social media,
Okay.
especially like pro home chefs. I love cooking. It's so creative.
If you're looking for some recipe inspiration, I would say definitely look at Corie's page because you post like a week of your food,
Yep,
huh?
every Saturday morning. Post like a variety of things that I made that week, but I also try to be really realistic. I don't take out, like, if I had chicken nuggets and a salad for lunch, the chicken nuggets and the salad make it in to the post, and I'm just like, hey, I needed a quick protein and like a quick veggie. It's just a way to be creative financially and in the can.
I love that works for you too, because I'm so glad I don't post what I eat during the week.
Yes, you do. You're
Yeah, you say I didn't eat. It doesn't eat enough.
I know. I either don't eat enough. I either don't eat all day, or I'm eating like 7 enchiladas.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, there's got to be a balance.
But actually, people have really started to expect it of me as far as content, and I get
like, where's your food? Did she not?
I get so many reactions and DMs and comments and things about my food that starts conversations because I also talk about my day in that post every week. I'm like, this is what happened this week. This is why I ate what I ate this week. Hey, like, we had to prep a bunch of stuff because I had shows every night this week. So I ate the same thing 5 days in a row because that was the only way I was going to eat something nutritious.
Right.
Or, hey, I ate like crap this week because I was really busy with real estate unexpectedly and I didn't have a backup plan in place. Like, and I'm just like really real about it. And I think it's a good combination of like all those aspects of my life. And it also is kind of like a journaling exercise for me that allows me to just like kind of reset for the week. And it's
so
fun.
you do meal prep every week, or do you try to? Or,
I don't
or
always
not very
do
much?
meal prep. I don't do it very much. Honestly, more often than not, it's ingredient prep. So I will do like, I'll grill some chicken to throw into different things. I will do like a crudité that I can also throw into different things. I will, like, this weekend on Saturday, I'm going to get a Costco rotisserie chicken and a bag of salad. And then I'm going to take all the chicken off. I'm going to make a Marry Me chicken soup on Sunday night for our family's Sunday night dinner. And I'm going to make it homemade broth and stock using the chicken carcass from the Costco rotisserie chicken.
Are you available for meal prep hire?
No.
What time is dinner on Sunday?
What time are we coming over?
It depends if I show up to auditions for the show on
Oh.
Like, I'm still trying to decide.
So, and then another interesting thing about you is that you also own a tiny home next to your house that you lived in when you bought your house. So tell us just a brief kind of history, like how that happened. I know your home was a FSBO.
Which is for sale by owner.
Yes. So start from there. How did you make this into your dream home?
It was listed incorrectly online, and that ended up being a very good situation for us as people looking to buy a home, because we actually had written offers on 12 different properties. We had been under contract for one right when the pandemic hit, and my lender gave me the option to get our financing denied because my husband did temporarily lose his job at the beginning of the pandemic. And so we opted to not move forward with that duplex at the time. It was the first one we finally got under contract, and we were like, ding, dang it. But we'll go ahead and we'll move on. And I'm so glad we did, because basically now we're house hacking our dream home. And so it was listed incorrectly online, and we wrote an offer. They had to decline it because we weren't allowed to have rentals in our community. It's a gated HOA community, and we weren't allowed to have rentals. A few weeks later, I was very high on pain medication from my knee surgery. And so I was feeling really brave, and I reached back out to the owner and I was like, hey, would you reconsider, and we'll submit the exact same offer, which was a very straightforward, clean offer. But the only thing we would add is, would you amend the CC&Rs to reflect that we could rent one out as long as we live in the other one? Because this is the only way we could afford this place, is to be able to do that.
To point out real quick, the CC&Rs for this neighborhood were there because it's a gated neighborhood that was subdivided off of your house originally. It was subdivided, and then they were going to develop this neighborhood in the gated community. And so your home now had to conform to the CC&Rs that were in place.
Correct.
And so that's when you approached the seller before you purchased it, because you had the chance to review them.
Exactly.
And you said, hey, if I'm not allowed to rent any portion of this, then what's the point of a second house
Yes.
on the property?
Yeah, it's the old fruit packing office that they had turned into an accessory dwelling unit.
Wow.
And it was rough when we bought it. The whole both houses, one, the bigger house was livable, but still pretty rough. And then the little house was really rough. And we moved in and we did a full gut on the little house. New electrical, new HVAC, drywall, most everything. And we lived in that for the first 3 years. It's what's called a house hack, which is where you live in one unit, you rent out the other. You can do it with a multifamily property. You can do an up-down with a upstairs house and a basement apartment. It's a great way to make homeownership more affordable. If you are someone who's looking to make homeownership more affordable, this is a great way to do it. Because of our lives working in sales, it was important to me to live in a house hack. We didn't offer on anything that wasn't a house hack because I wanted that extra income because of the fluctuations in our businesses.
Right.
And so we bought it. The first 3 years we lived in the little house. And the mortgage from the big house actually paid us to live there. So we did a lot of the major renovations off the cash flow of not having a housing expense and then having a little bit of cash flow from the bigger house. So we were able to do a lot of pretty major expensive work because we didn't have that housing expense. And we had just lived in an RV for 4 years in 200 square feet. So living in 700 square feet was an upgrade. It was totally fine for us. It was a huge upgrade.
Almost what my office is.
It's a huge upgrade. I was like, I get to have a real shower. This is amazing. I have my own laundry. It was amazing for me. It was a huge upgrade. And then when our tenant moved out of our bigger house, who I loved, my tenants have always been, because we obviously live on the same property, we don't share walls, but we've always been having really good relationships. And so when she moved out, we moved over to the big house, and then we rented out the little house, and it now pays half of our mortgage every month. We live in a very nice house in a very nice community
with a very nice pool.
A very nice pool. That's very expensive to maintain and redo. Which we learned this year how expensive it is. We live in a very nice place for a fraction of the cost that it would if we had just bought a standalone home. And we just have more flexibility now because if, God forbid, anything happened, one of us could move back into there and then rent out the big house and completely cash flow again if we needed to. If anything bad were to happen, or if we have an elderly parent or something like that that needs a place to live, we just have so many more options because of how we've chosen to live. And I think that's just a really smart way. If anybody's looking to make homeownership more affordable, I think that's one of the best ways you can do it.
House hacking, guys.
Absolutely.
I love it. Okay.
So I don't know if you've heard this today, but Catherine O'Hara passed away. And I know, RIP. Catherine O'Hara played Moira on Schitt's Creek, and I loved her. And I'm so sad to hear of her passing.
I'm so sad.
Yeah, I love her.
Her birthday, her and I actually have the same birthday. And you're going to ask me a question about it. So I'll let you ask the question first.
No, I just wanted to know, can you do a Moira impression? Do you know? Did you ever watch Schitt's Creek?
I watched a lot of Schitt's Creek. You know I did. It's right up my alley.
I feel like if there's anybody I'll ever ask this question to, it's you. And I almost, for whatever reason, feel like if there was ever...
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it.
What is it, like Herb Ertlinger?
Herb Ertlinger is like the actual
Herb Ertlinger one.
But she never says it right.
Yeah, that's right.
But she just an amazing talent. And also most of her movies, if you ever watched like Best in Show, anything like that, most of her work is improvisational, which is really, really cool. And she was
Yeah, she
amazingly
was
talented. And he's
Home Alone, Beetlejuice 2,
Beetlejuice.
Schitt's Creek. I mean, there's so many, I can't even name them all.
I
But
just know her from Schitt's Creek, and she was great.
yeah, I was sad to see that news
I
today.
know,
So
I'm so sad.
I was too. All of my theater people are, well, we actually already have a small
chat?
group chat about it. Like, and I was like,
R.I.P.
I didn't
Moira.
know. We shared a birthday, Pisces Queens. Yeah.
That's so sad.
That is so sad.
So one of my final questions for you is, have you ever slipped up or made mistakes on stage? Have you
Oh,
had any
yeah.
wardrobe malfunctions?
Oh, yes.
Bad ones?
I've had,
Do you have a
so
funny story? Traumatizing story?
do you want to hear about my first tetanus shot, or
Oh,
do you want to
sure.
hear about the time I got a pin stuck in my butt during a performance?
Was that a second?
Yeah, those are different
No.
things.
No, but that wasn't a second tetanus shot.
No, the pin actually came first. I never got a tetanus. Maybe I should have got a tetanus shot for that, but I didn't.
You're still here. You're good.
Okay, well let's
Survived.
hear briefly both of them.
My first show in college, they handmade our costumes. They were amazing. They were so cool. We were the Greek chorus, and somebody had left a pin in my costume when they had been making adjustments, and I sat on it during the performance. And the thing is that I had to be still, because there's these portions where we had to be really still in like these moments, and I just had like a single tear rolling down my cheek. And I could tell that my partner next to me, she was like, "What is going on right now?" Like,
This is such a good
like, I'm not supposed to be
so
crying.
well.
I'm the comedic, the comedic part of the show. And so we have a really quick exit up top, and then we had to run down and re-enter from another entrance very quickly. So I just lifted all my skirts up, because there was like 4 of them. There's all the petticoats and everything like that. So I had to lift them all up so she could pull the pin out of my butt before we had to make it to our next entrance.
Oh my God.
And so that was the first show I ever did.
Oh, that sounds.
And then the tetanus shot one, it was my first professional summer stock summer. So it's where you're doing a lot of shows in a short period of time. So I think we did 4 shows in 2 months during my first professional season doing that. And they had done Shrek earlier in the summer. And so they had like ivy and like swamp stuff everywhere. It was just funny. That show was so great. And then I was in The Nerd, which there's this big part in it where you're playing a game that's totally made up called Shoes and Socks, which is where you take your shoes and socks off and you're doing this thing with a bag on your head. So you can't see. And I go to exit, and one of the staples hadn't been pulled during Shrek, or hadn't been pounded back in. And so I had a quick exit and re-entrance, and I sliced my foot on it. And in the middle of the performance, and
While there's people watching you.
while there's people watching. And you just have to like,
Was it a bloodbath?
no, it
Oh,
was
okay.
luckily it
Yeah.
did not bleed that much, but because it had been out in the elements, because this is an outdoor amphitheater all summer,
yeah,
I was
that's
like,
deep.
I had to go get a tetanus shot. And so, yeah, I always laugh and say like, oh yeah, Shrek. I remember the last time I did Shrek was my last tetanus shot.
Well, okay. And there's some irony here, because in the first Shrek gets shot in the ass with an arrow. And Donkey's freaking out, and she's like, go find a blue flower with red thorns, and you're talking about having a pin in your ass. Blue flower, red thorns. That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
So I've had a lot of funny things happen. It's live theater, so funny things happen. Those are the 2 that are most memorable to me because they were like painful.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Well, my final question for you is, you have 2 corgis, right? Corgis?
Not full corgis.
Okay.
So Mulder is a full purebred corgi, and he's 10. And Ripley is 3, and she's half Aussie, which is why she's so neurotic and crazy and a little psychopath.
I understand that.
Yeah, you do, because you have Aussies. I didn't even know what I was in for with the Aussie. I was hoping she'd be more corgi. Just very
Corgis
chill.
can be a lot too, though.
Oh, Mulder is like my best assistant. So chill. And I call them both my assistants on social media, and I make jokes about it on
so
social
cute.
media because I love working from home and being with them and getting to experience all that with them. But I always make jokes that they're my assistants. But Ripley, like literally 13 miles with Josh last week. She's running 8 miles with Josh tomorrow. Running 8 miles with Josh tomorrow. Like, he doesn't understand that that's setting me up for failure.
Yeah.
He's gone. I can't do
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
What do I do? Hey, let's play catch.
Everybody loves dogs, so I had to give your dogs a chance to make it onto the pod.
So cute.
We should have dogs on the pod.
We should.
Dogs
you
are
should
allowed
brought
from here
them.
forward.
I could have totally brought Mulder. Mulder would have been chill.
Isn't he big though? Like, wouldn't he be pretty big?
He's
to be
not
honest?
I mean, he's big,
He's big.
but yeah, he's
Ripley's
big.
bigger?
No, she's dainty.
Okay,
She's my
okay.
dainty girl.
But she's
They
wild.
just look kind of.
She's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, I have one last question for you. What is one mindset shift that made the biggest difference in your happiness that you can tell the world?
Make
It's a deep
the
one.
business by design with your life. I think that was the biggest shift for me, is that if you are making your business by design to support your life and you're doing the things that are in alignment with you and your values, you're going to attract the people that are going to support you and support your business. So I think just being unapologetically yourself and moving forward with your business in that image, I think is the biggest shift.
It's amazing. Well, I feel like you are the perfect idol for a realtor because we've explained so much today about lifestyle, and you have a model, I would say a model lifestyle of different aspects that all revolve around home. Just like having a good home. You work from home, you make food at home, you have your pets, you have your house hacking, you do
I'm a
theater,
homebody.
and you sell homes. I mean, you're just this like model person. So I applaud you for that. I find you inspiring, and you've been an amazing person to have at Keller Williams. I know that everybody here is grateful for you because you've worn so many hats and you're a light in the building. And I really feel like everybody learns so much from you all the time. That's exactly why we wanted you on the phone, or on the phone, the podcast. We were going to do a call in.
But my office is 2 doors down.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know this, but I don't really like to walk a lot. So
You will not be doing 8 miles.
Oh, no.
do you have anything else, Priscilla?
No, just thank you for coming on. Thank you for being you and for teaching us everything that you teach us. And I love working with you. You're a great realtor. Keep it up. We're have a great year.
Thank you both so much. I love you both. You know I love you both, but I've been here to see you guys grow through this, and I cannot wait to see where this new project goes. So
Yeah,
excited
I'm
for you.
excited as well.
Excited.
All right. Well, stay tuned, everyone. We can't wait to have you till next week.
And we will tag Corie's YouTube and her social media so you guys can check her out if you want to see what she's cooking this week.
And you can find our social medias, Jordan Hemp, Priscilla De La Torre, and you can watch us on YouTube, Spotify, and our Facebook and Instagram.
Yes. Okay.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Bye.